U.S. germ warfare research, where 23 American universities were engaged in that research. Also the New York Board of Health, also the Department of Agriculture, also MDs. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, the university system of the United States is as much a part of the United States military establishment as is any other institution. Jobs are secondary to their functions. You see, when these planes drop bombs on your head, when these laser beam weapons fire from 500 miles out in space, when these germs such as AIDS and other germs will be released on us and have been released on us, you must recognize that those things have not been created by people in the streets. Those things have been created by professors, by PhDs, and in the university laboratories of this country. That's why educated people are the most dangerous people in the world. It is not the crack dealers that will destroy this earth, ladies and gentlemen. It is not the muggers that will destroy this earth, ladies and gentlemen. It will be people with PhD degrees with 2 fair-haired children and a 2-car garage. Upstanding, moral, church-going citizens who, after they leave service and rest Sunday night, go Monday morning to make bombs and weapons to destroy themselves, their children, and the whole of mankind on earth. And it's those professors who don't even teach very often, who are doing research for the government and doing research for the army and so forth, to such a degree now, that the United States scientific establishment has been skewed in its orientation toward research by military research, which is one of the reasons why it cannot appropriately compete with Japan, because its best brains have been used in the creation of death machines as against machines that can be used for commerce. Understand that? That is why, you see, it is not enough for you to go to white schools and get degrees from white schools. You must own those schools and control those schools. I'll be back to that in a minute. One of the reasons why we have problems too economically is the people we see racism as a psychomoral problem. Racism essentially is an economic problem. It is essentially a rationalization for maintaining economic, political, military, and other kind of controls over another people. It is not an attitude problem. We think that merely we change white folks' attitude. If they realize we believe like they do, and we do this like they do, they're going to come to love us. You are out of your mind. Do you think merely by having these people believe their creed that you're going to get out of the situation you're in? No. This racism is a justification and a rationalization for maintaining economic, political, and social dominance. Even the apparent change of racism by whites is still going to be used to maintain their racial dominance. That is, when whites become less obviously racist in their overt attitude, their wealth and their power will still remain where it is. As a matter of fact, they have learned that one of the best ways now of maintaining their power is to appear to be less overtly racist. Now, you think getting black mayors and governors elected represents some advancement for black people? I realize, of course, we've been through this game before. This is the second Reconstruction anyway. You know, we're getting duped again. And you think that the moving of black people in the classes, in wealth and so forth, represents some advance for black people? I call it neoclassism, sort of as a parallel with what? Neo-colonialism, where a minority which seeks to maintain its power, where it does not have numerical advantage, recruits from the very people it oppresses, so that those recruits can be used to maintain the power and position of the original group. So the European recognizes that he can as efficiently or more efficiently dominate African economic affairs by having Africans as head of government than having himself as the chief governor of African countries. And now we're going to get a black middle class that puts a black face on white power. Let us not be deceived. So we think then that the problem that we are facing with whites and racism is a problem of morality. And this is in part the result of being led by preachers. You see, and not having a strong secular leadership in the black community. Because people tend to see problems in terms of their profession. And ministers, being concerned very much about moral issues, tend to moralize most issues. You see, but there's much more going on in this world than just a bad attitude. There's only education that gets you where you need to go to people. I've stated again and again that the educational destiny of the black child is revolutionary, that the educational destiny of the white child is what? Conservative. The major focus of white education is to maintain the advantage that they already have. Black people not having advantages do not need to get the same education because you're not being educated for the same reason. You're being educated to remove that advantage. You're being educated to feed your starving children. You're being educated to benefit from the wealth that is being stolen from the lands of your ancestors. You're being educated to benefit from the wealth that you create here as a people. That means that our children must be reared to undertake their destiny and to undertake the tasks that lie before them. The problems that black children have to solve are not those that white children have to solve. Education is defined in terms of the problems people must solve. When you go to white schools, you are learning to solve white folks' problems. That's why you can work better for them and solve their problems better than you can your own. That's why, despite the fact that you may have an MBA degree or business administration degree, you own virtually no businesses and you administer nothing belonging to yourself and you have no control over anything economically. In fact, the more degrees you've gotten, the more other people have taken your businesses from you in your neighborhoods. Which means you're being educated for servitude. So the highest educated black is in the same position as the lowest one, and that is they're being educated or not educated in service to white power. Intelligence, we are not even intelligent. Black people are made stupid by the education that they get. And the more education we get, the more stupid we become. Yes, I know this is harsh words, but we have to deal with the reality. We are literally educated into dumbness. We call being intelligent high scores on the SAT, high grades at Harvard and Yale, how much we created for IBM, and how much we created for AT&T. Ladies and gentlemen, it has nothing to do with intelligence at all. You let other people define intelligence for you in such a way that it also means maintaining them in power. The ultimate value of intelligence, the ultimate point of intelligence, is to solve one's own problems and to secure one's own survival. God put intelligence in you so that you could adapt to the environment you live in or adapt the environment to you to further your own life and your own being. I don't care how much you know, how much you've learned, how deeply you've been educated by other people. If you cannot solve your own economic problems, if you cannot solve your own military problems, if you cannot secure your own survival, which should be the point of education, then you have been made dumb and stupid and ignorant by that education. That's why you have to get rid of the concept of equal education and the equating of same and equalness. You do not need the same education as white people. You do not have the same problems as white people. Therefore, you require a knowledge that is relevant to the problems that you have as a people. And when you solve those problems that confront you as a people, and you collect the information relevant to solving those problems, and you develop the mental skills and abilities and capacity to solve those problems, then you are intelligent. It has nothing to do with your record at Harvard or Yale or any of the rest of these institutions. Do you understand what I'm trying to get across?
Yeah.
That's why you must, number one, redefine every word